staple on the public holiday the last couple of years on our VFL coverage. They'll be looking for a better result than what they had at this venue this time last year. Tom Gamble, all of his 130-plus games at the level against Bryan to get things started. The younger Bryan got it. Sardis flicked it out. Zagari in the helmet after it. Paris against his former side with an early entry. Keeler knocked it away from Wiedemann. Got it via, but not out of harm's way. Foley tried to carve it on the left. Smother, and things will go the other way here for the Zebras. Heath's after it. Hoare grabbed it, got free of the Heath tackle, tossed it back in. Bailey Scott with the footy, his second interaction. He's a good story. Great season in the Geelong Football League last year with Colac. Third in the Matheson medal, was the league's best and fairest, and won the Tigers BNF, and now will try his hands as a 23-year-old at VFL level as Garcia puts it into the mitts of Heath, who kicked 5 in the corresponding fixture last year. He'll go back and try and kick the first of this edition.
Yeah, big frame, hard man to stop when he can plant his feet, and another stoppage win there. It's going to be the key to Essendon. Blake Carosella talking pre-game. They conceded 60 inside 50s last week. They need to be better defensively, this Essendon side.
Heath kicked a goal in the third term in the opening match of the season against Collingwood at RSEA Park to go alongside 12 touches and 20 hit-outs. Right to the line, you could hear the kill, 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 and it's done so off the fist of Campbell Gray.
It's a real strength in this Sandringham team. They've got some tall forwards. And on such a small ground, Brownie, it's about territory.
You've got to be able to win the clearances, get that ball forward of centre, and then able to lock the ball in your forward half.
Because there is just such congestion.
Yeah.
It's not a big ground. So as you can see here, just so many players around every contest. Little flip over the top from Houghton to Garcia, but nowhere to go.
It makes ball transition very, very difficult, this small ground. So you just need to be able to win these stoppages.
Literally just about every player in the ground in this little corner. Garcia pops one over the top, and that's going to be the key this afternoon, getting it from inside to outside. Blamirez goes inside 50 again. Heath the target. Hayes at the back picks it up. He's immediately tackled by Jack Hayes. It's Lewis against Jack, and plenty of Hayes in the air as well.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
Smoke everywhere.
Good ball security there from Hayes. He didn't try and cough that up, wore the tackle and got himself a free kick.
And Lewis will go long. Keeler versus Wiedemann. Keeler at the back does well. Handball inside. Chance here through Hawker Hahn. He delivers short. And Sandringham will get another opportunity. This is Will Brown.
Smart football from Hawker Hahn. Just lowered the eyes. Didn't blaze away to the top of the square or have a shot himself. Good unselfish football, and 2 marks inside the first 3 minutes here for Sandringham. Smells of a little bit of danger for this Essendon side, who are very, very young this afternoon.
Will Brown, the 18-year-old, originally from Kawana Park up on the sunny coast until 2021, down to Brighton, won 2 flags at the Sandy Dragons. He was best and fairest and captain of their premiership last year. Vic Metro captain, great leadership, talented youngster, misses left.
No real breeze this afternoon either, which is rare.
Foley trusted with the kicking duties in his 6th VFL match. Short for Will Hoare, who's not prepared to bite off the switch, and will head for Bryan and Campbell. Bryan forced into the fist. Houghton in the phone booth takes the sanctuary of the line. May have hurt his thumb as he was handballing that out.
Great contest yesterday, Andrew McCormack, at Marvel Stadium between these two teams. The fallout between Essendon and St Kilda.
Yeah, well, the Bombers, what a winner was yesterday. Jake Stringer snatching it late. They head to Friday night footy against Port Adelaide. Sam Durham concussed. You've got Dylan Shield and Jordan Ridley. I'll come back to you with the Saints in for next week's, hopefully.
Thanks, Macca. Ryan pops the handball. It's going to linger. Schoonmaker taken out of it. Paris taps the accelerator, as does Jaden Davies. Sardis turned into low. They dish it off and find a way out. Clever from Paris. A careful kick to find Wiedemann, who's quick to reference, headed inboard. Maybe a bit overzealous. Blamirez is under pressure. Arrows, all the Zebras. Hipwell ducked through the tackle. They're still on it out of harm's way. Kick smothered off the boot of Scott. McLennan can't find the way out with a Sandy jumper, but they'll take the boundary throw, and that was good forward pressure from the Bombers. Macca, continue the summary of yesterday afternoon at Marvel.
Well, Brad Hill looked to have suffered a nasty hand injury, but he's escaped with just stitches, so no break. He'll take on Richmond next week. And the Southerly is starting to get a bit stronger here down here at Trevor Barker Beach Oval, so you've probably got a 2 to 3 goals to the left of the screen for Sandy.
Thanks, Macca. Sardis lays the tackle.
Styling up the tackle pressure here, Essendon, able to turn the ball over, nearly created an opportunity in their last inside 50, and they're going to be consistent in that area all afternoon.
Ollie Houghton will bounce it inside 50. Hayes versus Hayes. Campbell-Gray committed the body for the Bombers. Handball popped over the top from Logan Young. Quick slick hands from Solly McKay. And then Lewell taken high, and the Bombers can escape from half-back. An awkward one, though. Nicely gathered up by Jackson Haitley to Lewis Hayes, and they look to switch to the outer side for Eckersley. Gold Coast Premiership player in the VFL last year. He goes short and finds Tom Thomas.
He kicked a couple of last quarter goals last week.
Campbell over the top. Such an impact at this level, Tom Campbell, with his size and experience, and away come the Zebs.
Zagari floated the hand post pass though to Balmires. Sandy try and work it inside forward 50, and that was a kick that was perfectly weighted to advantage. And the opportunity will come the way of Logan Young.
Yeah, it was a lovely kick, wasn't it? Little pitching wedge over the top, knew where the space was, and good strong hands from Young. I'll put this to both of you, Nudge and Chase. Tom
Forgot
Campbell.
my name after 10 years, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is Tom Campbell the greatest journeyman in football? 11 seasons. He's turning 33 in November.
He's unforgettable.
Dogs North and now the Saints.
Except to you. Logan Young for the first. It's off the right. It's missing everything. Logan Young played a couple of games with North Melbourne's VFL team in 2021. His only win at the level coming in the Kangas' victory over the Bombers in round 6 of that season, as Tom Thomas has it.
Don't look at me now.
Chase is absolutely right for here in the commentary box.
Preparation is key, Campbell, and you've lost yours. Keeler with the interceptors. The Bombers can set up defensively, and Sandringham have got to work their way through. Best part of 30 players on this ground. Can they find some yellow? Keeler's kick too deep, flicks through the fingers of Eckersley, who's made the move after being a Gold Coast Suns premiership player last year. 6
inside 50 entries here for Sandringham. 3 marks, but just the 2 behinds. They've had some opportunities.
Macca.
Came off. Nat Cake just came off in the hands of some trainers. Looked to cop a high blow. I think he's okay. Just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, Nate Caddy, early draft pick, taken at pick 10 in last year's draft. Such an exciting talent. Hopefully we get to see him in action again shortly. Ball ricochets off the contest. Garcia immediately tackled, stripped of the football. Bombers defence holding up okay across half-back at the moment. This is Xavier O'Neill to Lewell. Just unable to get over the back of the Sandringham defence at the moment. Ollie Lowe goes short. In the middle of the ground, this is Luca McNabb. Gets good distance on the kick and finds Jack Hayes inside 50.
Well, it's just a matter of time before Sandringham blow this game wide open. There's 6 marks inside 50 now, and it's arguably the best of them.
What a great story Jack Hayes was when he burst onto the scene in 2022. Had a great 21, was 3rd in the Magarey medal over in South Australia, best and fairest in the flag, working as a concreter in Adelaide, and then joined St Kilda over the summer, signed as an SSP, played 5 of the first 6 games, entered his ACL, then foot surgery, then hamstring surgery ever since, so we've barely seen him. He misses left here, but that first half a dozen games he played in 22, he was the story of the AFL.
So ACL, foot and hamstring, Jace. This is just his 11th official game for either the Saints or the Zebras in his time on the list.
Yeah, had a calf and a knee clean out over the summer. He's just had a rotten run.
Porter Eckersley as the Bombers look for an exit. Ryan can fly free here or leave it for Campbell. Alessio chopped off. Hipwell careful on the left. Spaces the kick. Bombers defence had it set up. Hayes couldn't mark. Lewell was held. Lewell goes back. Hall wasn't expecting it. Dora Darnell for the magical Collard to kick the first. He can seek an opportunity, Lance Collard. Had a shot at goal, 22 seconds in round one. Just missed that. There was no missing that on that occasion. Turned 19 last Monday, picked 28 in last year's AFL draft. What an exciting prospect he is.
Classy finish from Lance Collard. Track assist replay shows just a drop mark, some fumbles in the back half from Essendon opened the door on that occasion. Collard has already tasted AFL football. Round one versus the Cats, he made no mistake. It's just been a territory domination for Sandy. They'd be glad to put the first goal on the board.
Super talent, Lance Collard. 8 of the first 10 inside 50s going to the Zebras. Bombers need to muscle up in the contest, and they've got an opportunity here to get it inside 50 and try to lock it in at their own end. Bailey Scott, high and long towards the square. Seaton drifts in, takes the grab.
Yeah, great aerial support. Seaton sliding across into the hole.
Goes wide to a 2-on-1, but it's nicely cut off by Archie Roberts. What a debut last week, 25 touches for Archie. His first appearance at VFL level.
Loopy possessions in modern football, regardless of the dimensions of the ground, will be picked up by the opposition, but that seems to be doubly so here with the confines of this ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're able to do that, you can lock the ball inside your forced half and give your forwards multiple opportunities to hit the scoreboard. Sandy have done it much, much better in the first 11 minutes of this first quarter.
Chance for the Bombers to manufacture something, and they will get an opportunity.
And that's what can happen if you do lock the ball in. It's not always going to be perfect football, marks inside 50. You just got to keep the ball in there and try and find other avenues to goal when it's not as easy, and that just slid a little bit high.
Archie Roberts, a high shot from Tarkin O'Leary. So Archie, as I mentioned, 25 touches on debut last week and a goal. That one's just drifting left. 18-year-old from Hampton Rovers and Haileybury was best and fairest in their flag last season. Also won a couple of flags with the Sandy under-18, so very familiar surroundings from him, taken by the Bombers at pick 54 last year.
Not far away from Boss James Reserve, the home of the Rovers. Hayes at full stretch. Has a gaze inboard. Foley's pointing backwards. Hayes will kick for the traffic. He wears one from Heath on the way through. Vicentini did well to work his way to the front. And another of the many two-time Sandringham Dragons premiership players in action this afternoon can try and get the Bombers on the board.
Big Vigo, just too strong in the air, 204 centimetres, and he's a ruckman with plenty of development in him, but if he can rest forward and take catches like that, then he's going to be a hard man to stop.
His most recent goal, the major after the siren, as the Dragons won last year's Coates Talent League flag from up the road. Brighton Beach Junior has Essendon's first on Easter Sunday.
Just had to have it.
So a nice goal, mark and goal to Vigo Vicentini. So it's a goal apiece at Beach Oval. Macca, the Bombers down a man.
Yeah, down to tall. Sam Wiedemann just got into the room. It's a nasty gash to the top of his head, so he'll be looking for some stitches and hopefully come back maybe at quarter time.
Have we seen Nate Caddy again yet, Macca, or is he still on the bench?
He's still on the bench. He's okay. He's just been assessed by the doctors, but he looks okay.
A couple of the key forwards for Essendon out at the moment.
Blake Watson to fire Marlowe. He gives it off to Ollie Lowe from just outside 50. It was always tracking left. So Sandringham, some early opportunities. They're 1-4. Essendon 1-1, early stages, 7 VFL match of the day. Great to have you with us on 7 AFL and 7 Plus. All our VFL, Sandful and Waffle matches of the day streaming live and free on 7 Plus every weekend and on demand during the week as well. That's a big thump over the line from Mitch Ryan. Of course, next weekend, Nudge, it's the VFL taking on the Sandful Saturday afternoon on 7 Made in Victoria and South Australia and around the country on 7 Plus.
Great to see the VFL back playing representative football for the first time in 7 years, and the team will head across to Adelaide on Friday for the assignment against the SANFL, coached by Jade Rawlings. On Saturday is Faye Marlowe, has it at the paint of 50. Kick not to the advantage of Campbell, he's incensed, and Lewis Hayes has done a great job in this opening quarter with several intercept marks, a pair of them in fact.
He's got to bring that ball to ground. He's got to do everything you possibly can to create a contest there.
Watson slams it back in. It's kick to kick at the moment. That'll suit Campbell.
Oh, the journeyman! Look at him. He's a big, strong man. 11 seasons at AFL level. And he's never played more than 8 games of AFL footy. But he continues to front up. VFL Premiership player in 16. And kicks truly.
Still working at all this, aren't we?
It's too quick.
We'll get there.
It's good to be able to
No worries.
call one through.
No worries, Brownie. We might, Nudge and I might head off early, eh? You can do the whole thing. You could. This is the gold you get here on 7 Plus, ladies and gentlemen.
Call it in. You can call it now, Nudge.
Sandy by 9 points as we head back to Macca.
Nate Caddy's going to have to need a trip to the dentist this Easter weekend. A trainer's just run past with one of his teeth in their hand, so he's lost a tooth, Nate Caddy, in the opening minutes of this quarter. He's just drying up some blood around the mouth area. We'll see if he's good to go at quarter time or not.
Andrew McCormack, boundary side. Santos, Lawal off the back edge of the square.
You've got to put them in milk. That's what they did for Dustin Fletcher's in Perth.
Archie Roberts. Away come the Zebs. Watson receives from low. Kick inside 50, not ideal. Hazel cut it off. Sartis sells the dummy to Watson. Back to the wing. Up in front. And through the hands. High kick. Back to 50. Campbell provides the contest. Bryan picks it up on the deck. Through some traffic and maybe now a chance for the Bombers. This is O'Neill. Roberts. They link up. Ends up with O'Neill again. He can go inside 50. 2 on 2. Seaton off the hands of Oscar Smart. He goes short and finds Houghton.
Nice and composed there from Seaton. Winning that one-on-one battle.
Houghton checks it. Ramirez comes off his line. Kick will hug the line of the square. Lowell will get a free flight. Hold or free kick, it won't matter. It's Bombers' ball. Hately snuck back onto the ground to Lowell's left. He'll just come into your shot, perhaps. Lowell goes inboard. Okay. Virtually every player on the ground in front of him keeps it low. Paris, Seaton, accosted, stripped. Alessio fumbles one forward. Vicentini, right place, right time. It's not pretty from the Bombers, but they're staying intact. That despite the fact it's 7 inside 50s to 12 thus far.
Yeah, well, Seaton just spent the ball before he had it. A little cough up there opened the door, and Vigo can go back and kick his second.
Brother Dante, 2.5 years older, on the Port Adelaide list. Vigo with 2 for Easter.
Staying in the contest, Essendon. Getting outplayed in most areas. On the truck assist replay, we could just see a little hack kick forward, and Santini, right place, right time there, staying in the contest.
Bryan in the ruck, up against Jack Hayes. Garcia bounces it to 50. Bombers have numbers back. It's a Solly McKay off to Hayes, who's been Essendon's best in the opening term. Can he hit a target on the way out? He can. Nicely weighted kick.
Good little change of direction. Everyone looked like it was going to switch.
This is Ricky Monty, 20-year-old from Bendigo.
Going back the skinny side, there were plenty of free Essendon players. Now they can just be composed.
His kick not ideal. Got on the bounce to Eckersley, put him under some pressure, and the turnover comes. Back inside 50, big pack of players. Campbell crashes that pack. Creates a spillage. In comes Garcia to put the pressure on. Solly McKay on the bottom of that pack. We'll have a ball up about 40 metres out from the Sandringham goal. They lead by 3 points. Time on in the opening term. 7 VFL's match of the day live from Trevor Barker Beach Oval in Sandringham. Warm afternoon in Melbourne. Temperatures up in the high 20s predicted. Took a while to burn the clouds away today, but that has now happened as Sardis gets buried into the turf. Bryan the tap, emphatically down to Hayes. Lewis Hayes back to Bryan. Jack Hayes lays the tackle. Two Hayeses both in 18 today for their respective teams. Bryan the tap, Garcia got the crumb. Scott was stripped of it. Sartis under pressure. Good forward hunting this from Sandringham, and in the end, the Bombers' defence stand up.
Matthew Foley with the free. Floaty inboard to Hately, who pushes his kick with a bit more vigour. Gray, Docking working the mark. McKay slipped over. That allowed McLennan in to mark. He's going to chip this up. Campbell's trying to set himself. Got a hand to it. Toes on it. Docking. A third to the Zebras. Josh Docking gets one on debut. And the Zebs re-establish a goal-plus buffer as Nate Caddy walks past us. Andrew McCormack will be able to stand up and see Nate heading for the rooms and some clandestine dentistry work.
There's the VFL. You just wander through the crowd off to get some medical treatment. That's Nate Caddy, who's going to need some dental treatment. Lost a tooth early in this one. Sandringham by 9 points. 23.5 gone in the opening term.
He's capitalising on the poor foot skills coming out the back half. Campbell Gray missed his target by a considerable margin, and the ball getting kicked to a dangerous spot. Docking kicking his first goal in VFL footy.
Another from the Sandy under-18s program. It's a great pathway here for the Zebras. Lowe can't control it. Davies there to put some pressure on. Well done, Ollie Lowe. Nice gather in from Collard. Back to Lowe. Flips a little handball to Garcia. Off a step. Campbell sets his feet. Good thump over the top from the Essendon defence. O'Neill nowhere to go. Sandringham doing a great job with their forward pressure.
Yeah, they certainly are. Wasn't that outstanding work out here on the wing by Ollie Lowe? Just winning that critical 50-50 contest and driving it inside forward 50.
Just not letting Essendon off the hook. Getting them pinned in their back half. Llewell. Eckersley was quick to boot. McNabb tried to cover the bounce. Davey turns the body against Campbell, and rightly so.
Yeah, well,
might have been knocked into next week if he didn't.
Tried to put a bump on, but you're not going to move that big frame of Campbell.
Campbell a tap down to Garcia. Sardis piles in. Tom just tries to emerge and power his way through a couple of tackles.
It's going to be an important battle, that. Tom Campbell versus Nick Bryant.
They lock up again. Hipwell got down low. O'Leary taken down in the tackle. Campbell, Sardis, slick hands. Hately to clear the zone to the middle of the ground. Bouncing football gets over the back, but well played McLennan. Turns it around. Here's a chance for the Zebs through Ryan. He can go for goal. Flat, hard to the square, and Hayes will take it.
They just got out the back, didn't it? And Campbell Gray playing from in front. All the Essendon forwards in the middle of the ground ran forward of the footy. No one actually put the pressure on to win the ball.
And Sandy get another.
Truck assist replay shows just being able to drive that ball a little bit deeper over the top of the Essendon defenders that were playing from in front, and a couple of red time goals close this margin just back out to 15 points.
Game high buffer for the Zebras as Watson head into the turf from the Hately tackle. Llewell working away from goal. Locates Foley. Bryan, too much on it for Tomer, who's got a dash after it off the feet of Hoare. He's got O'Leary searching for the body. Scoop back to Tomer. Can the Bombers find a way out? Gray looking to be better this time. Chopped off again. Clever from Watson. Pinpoints it deep. That's fantastic work from the Zebras in their front half. Ollie Houghton, the beneficiary.
Well, it's just an interesting decision why you'd want to pat the ball back into play. Could have taken it over the boundary line. Instead, another defensive 50 turnover from Essendon and opens the door again for another mark inside 50 for the Zebras. 19 inside 50s. They should be in front by far more than the 15-point margin at the moment.
Kick goals in rounds 14, 15 and 16 last year. Ollie Houghton picked 35 in the 2022 draft for the Saints. Careful from Ollie Houghton, and the margin extends to 21.
$18 inside 50s, 11 marks for Sandringham. You'd like to keep a side to 11 marks for a whole game, let alone in a quarter.
That's 11 marks inside 50.
Yeah, inside forward 50. So you just cannot compete if you're conceding that in the air.
Can they start winning some clearances and just get some territory off the back of that? Because it's been all Sandringham in this opening term. Bryan in there scrapping. Sandy's pressure's been outstanding. Hately did well. Llewell goes tracking it against Collard. And maybe now a chance for the Bombers. Slick hands from Foley. Roberts under pressure. Just hunting in numbers, the Zebras. Their intensity at the football in the first term's been great.
Yeah, real appetite for the contest, don't they? You can see then just 2 and 3 players attacking the ball carrier. They're up for the contest.
Bombers trying hard, and Sandringham is giving them no time and space whatsoever. And they're going to get a free kick here, the Zebs. Campbell got one over the shoulder.
He's going to drive this inside the forward 50, and you'd be confident that you're going to win the ball in the air the way it's been going.
Yeah, they've got some big targets, and Max Heath is one of those.
They do, but their defensive positioning is just all over the place.
So talk us through it, Brownie. When we have a look at the replay here now and how they played Max Heath in that situation, talk us through it.
They've been, on this occasion, You can see he just got lost in the air. Campbell Gray, that's his direct opponent. If he flies, you need to fly. You need to be aggressive early and not let him plant his feet.
So what about Will Hoare, who was tracking Heath in that situation? He looked like he was more concerned with the ball rather than locating Heath first and foremost.
You need aerial support as well, so they're just all at sea.
Heath's got another. This is impressive from the Zebs.
A dozen marks inside forward 50 in a quarter. I cannot recall at any level of football seeing that flash up.
Unprecedented. And it's just been getting driven in there, and every single time it's gone in, they've pretty much been in the box seat.
20 inside 50s inside a quarter of football. That's an avalanche.
So the big message from Blake Caracella pre-game is we conceded 60 inside 50s last week. We've got to be better defensively. They've conceded 20 inside 50s in the first quarter and 12 marks. And yes, Sandringham have some big frames up there, but if I'm the defensive coach, they've been playing from in front when they should be playing from behind on occasions. That needs to be killed, that ball. It was a long, high kick inside from Tom Campbell. They had plenty of time to set and get their numbers back, and they still couldn't get a hand on.
It was a 3-point game entering time on after Vigo Vicentini's second goal for the Dons. Sandy with 4 and a 7.5-minute blitz to round out the opening term. Much deserving of their 27-point advantage at
Coffee shop to get some milk to put it in there.
Thanks, Macca.
We got the coffee van behind the goals left of the screen, so that helps.
Just whip
and then
around
we're next
to the
to the base, so there's your salt water.
What happens if you're lactose intolerant? Does the tooth, get affected by that?
Would have thought oat milk would still do the same thing, wouldn't it? Same principles.
Same principle.
There's Sam Wiedemann.
Yeah, you got lesson to all children out there: wear a mouth guard, not hard. Might prevent that.
Campbell.
It's my advice for the day.
Thanks, Doc. Here's Lowe. Centre half forward. Fine advice it was. Foley. Roberts. Davey. The Davies boys playing together in Essendon jumper for the first time this afternoon. Angus McLennan cuts this one off.
Great to see Jaden back.
Garcia. Bold switch, and maybe now an opportunity for Alwyn, who goes on the hunt. But Schoenmaker manages to clear the zone to the wing. Ramirez goes off the ground. It was really clever, wasn't it? Paul Kahan, handball partly smothered. Bombers scrapping hard early in the second term to get something going. This is Alwyn Davey to half forward. Keeler against Vicentini. He's playing a lone hand up forward for the Bombers. Past Sardis. Hot and a quick handball. Emerging with it was Jack Perris, the former Zebra and St Kilda player. There'll be a downfield free kick for a push in the back. It's going to be an Essendon ball within range. And an opportunity for the Bombers to strike first in this second term. It's going to be a great opportunity here for Luca Alessio, the son of Steve, former Essendon premiership player. 19-year-old, played his underage footy at St Bernard's and Calder Cannons. Member of Essendon's James Hird Academy. His second VFL appearance. There's the free kick. Jack Perris taken down. So a chance for Luca to kick his first in VFL football for the Bombers. Plenty of height. Fades across the face. Minor score.
Played in a premiership for St Bernard's in Premier B last year with Dad Steve coaching. He was a prominent goal kicker with 2 in the grand final against Fitzroy. Shoemaker. Jack Hayes trapped behind Lewis Hayes. Outpointed him. Zagari
Great tackle.
did not see Roberts in the rearview mirror. So a forward half stop for the Bombers. Roberts on the left. Chips for Lowell. Has he got permission to launch? No, looks fat side. Tomer. Better movement from the Bombers.
Yeah, it was outstanding. Defensive pressure in your forward half. Turns the ball over. Brilliant stuff. And can inspire your teammates too. Thomas bobbed up and kicked a couple of goals in the last quarter last week. can add a much-needed goal this afternoon to Essendon. They've started this quarter well.
Comes to the VFL as a 28-year-old with a terrific pedigree in country football in northern Victoria. 2 last week on debut. Oh, tings the post to the left here. Golden Square Premiership player last year alongside now Bombers teammate Ricky Monty.
Got the invite down. Matt Rosa, who's involved at Essendon, his brother's involved at Golden Square, suggested they get Monty and Toma down for a look. They came down to play some match sim and they both ended up the VFL deal. Seaton high and long to the wing. Campbell's his target. Bryan over the top with a well-timed fist. Zagari nowhere to go and taken over the line by Oscar Smart. A better start to the second term from Essendon. It's just all about winning contests, as we've said, on a ground this small. Win a contest, take some territory. It's just so hard to transition the football through the traffic from one end of the ground to the other. You get pinned in your own defensive 50. And here's a chance for Sandringham to do that once again. Hawker Hahn's kick towards half forward. Hayes has been good, couldn't hang on this occasion. Heath will keep it alive. Handball inside. Hawker Hahn involved again, just a bit too much on the kick. It's chopped off by Jared Eckersley, who goes short to Sardis.
It's up the middle. Scott to the running Roberts, dishes the handball. Jaden Davey lost it. Hawker Hahn found it. Watson, his handball shaded by Alwyn Davey Jr. Scott goes in again and is sandwiched. Game has evened up in the second quarter from what we saw compared to time on, Brownie.
It certainly has. They've been restricting Sandringham's ability to get the ball inside 50. And when they have, it's been under a little bit of pressure, which gives you Essendon defenders a chance.
Hately, Llewell flicked it low. Houghton on the right, spaces the kick, it just needs to sit. Young got boot to ball, but wasn't going to have the necessary leverage to bring that back to 10 o'clock and the goal face. So Logan Young with a second quarter behind and the margin sitting at 26. The Bombers with a more promising 5 minutes to start the second than what they had to end the first.
High kick straight up the middle. Holding decision, it's going Essendon's way.
Men streaming forward here.
Jackson Hately spent time at GWS and Adelaide. Looking for a third opportunity at AFL level. Inside 50. Ryan does well. Hawker Hahn immediately tackled.
So appetite for the contest just to start this second quarter has been much better. Essendon creating some opportunities forward of centre by putting pressure on the ball carrier.
Roberts. High kick. There's Wiedemann.
And that's what can happen.
So Sam Wiedemann, an opportunity to go back and kick their third. He had Nate Caddy's tooth buried in the top of his head, went off to get some stitches. '75 AFL games. This is 63rd VFL game as he's bounced between the two levels. Firstly at Melbourne, now at the Bombers. Wiedemann steers it through for a goal. Good start, second term, Essendon.
So nothing remarkable statistically about what the Bombers have done in the first 7 minutes of the quarter. It's just the fact that virtually every column now is on an even keel.
Yeah, just more even with their consistency around the contest. It's as simple as that. And they've been able to lay some tackles, lock the ball in their forward half.
Wiedemann with his first on the Maxxis tyres replay. We see the build-up and the mark as Keeler wasn't able to impact. There's nothing remarkable about what Essendon have done in the first 7 minutes. Every statistical column now is just matched with what Sandringham have done.
Yeah, being able to be slightly in front in contested possessions and tackles has just afforded them some opportunities inside their forward 50.
Bombers will try and repeat the dose with a clearance. Paris shuffles a kick forward. Alessio knocked away by Seaton. Keeler needs the ground game. McNabb dived. Blamiris shoots it high up the chimney. Hoare is able to find it in the air and then lose it on the ground. He tackles and strips Young. Monty did well, stayed afloat. Lowell skis out of traffic. Davey, evasive around Blamirez to Paris. Shuffles a ball back in. Wiedemann couldn't get the hands. Scooping it up was smart by name and by nature. To Davey, a tumbling ball that's wide. And it was just that last possession that didn't have the requisite polish.
I'd love to see the Davey twins just creating a little bit more havoc down there. When the ball is hitting the ground, as it is often, they need to make sure that their tackle pressure is through the roof.
To see some AFL players from both teams here supporting their VFL teammates. High kick back to the wing. Campbell in front of Hayes. Bryan at ground level. Essendon really lifted their work rate in the second term. Hipwell. Nice kick out the back. Collard's got to stand and wait. Takes the mark despite the pressure from Foley. Gets up a little sore. Kicks to half forward. And just turning around at the right moment, copping a clip on the way through, was Josh Docking. Lance Collard's very sore. He's crawled to the bench after that last contest. Copped looks to be a nasty corky. We'll hear from Macca in a moment. Docking goes inside to a dangerous position. Off the hands of the contest. Bombers defence with some work to do here. Logan Young is swamped. Ball is held in. It now pops out. Eventually the umpire has to blow the whistle. Here's the corky. Yeah, maybe the shin.
Hip pointer.
A nasty one.
Shin.
Whistle's gone. Free kick. Essendon.
They're just defending much better, bringing that ball to ground.
So the Bombers are down a man. Nate Caddy's gone off to hospital to get a tooth replaced, and Lance Collard is going to get some work on the boundary line to try and get him up and going again.
Archie Roberts with the exit kick. Alessio was the fly for the Bombers. Foley against the boundary line. It was Loopy. Alessio under pressure. To Sardis in space. He could spot Wiedemann, who had to go back with a flight, but was never going to be able to impact Angus McLennan in any meaningful way. And McLennan's got Will Brown trotting through centre half forward to the top of your screen. Will hug the line,
shank,
and kick it into the beach.
So Essendon just getting the ascendancy back here in the first 11 minutes of this second term. They've only added one goal to the scoreboard, but you can just clearly feel the momentum and their confidence coming back into this contest.
6-4 inside 50s in favour of the visitors, and maybe further opportunity with Tom Campbell off for a spell. Hayes through the hands of Wiedemann. Alessio kept it alive again. Paris went without it. McNabb, Heath. Headed towards McNabb, who could only dust a fist onto it. Hawker Hahn. McNabb nailed right in the ribs.
Eckersley.
Happy Easter, not really. Bryan, Monty, Eckersley. O'Neill, Paris. Pushes it deep. It's a 2-on-2. Vicentini and Smarts. Ball just to the right, but it's a better version of the Bombers in the second quarter.
This is the hit.
Luke
Hospital
McNabb.
handball.
Have a look at this. Pow.
And nothing untoward about that. That's just, unfortunately, McNabb having to sit under a hospital handball and Eckersley making him feel it.
End up with a couple of broken McRibs. Garcia goes towards Heath. Bryan over the top. Hipwell fends off Foley. O'Leary. Bombers with numbers. As Hayes takes the grab.
Nigel Carmody flinched more than Hayes just did there on that occasion in the commentary.
Brought the scaffolding down. O'Neill to Sardis.
Thought we were about to see a punctured lung then.
Much better aerial support though. They've got players dropping into the hole, creating an aerial contest and bringing it to ground or winning it for Essendon.
Sardis goes looking for Smart. Trying to spin out of trouble was Monty, but can't escape. Smart another opportunity. It's picked off. Foley. Good scrap here from the Bombers in the second term. It's turned into a real struggle. McNabb back up and going. To half forward. Just losing his feet there was Will Haw. It'll get over the back. Chance here for Hawker Hahn. In fact, it was low. He goes inside and finds Hawker Hahn. 45 out. As we head boundary side, Jackson Haitley joins us for the first time this afternoon. Jackson, appreciate your time. What have you made of the contest so far?
Yeah, they obviously got off to a fast start, so we're just sort of fighting back now. A lot of that looks like trying to get the ball going our way, which we're doing a better job this quarter. We're just going to finish our work going forward.
Stay with us as Hugo Hall-Kahan has his shot at goal. Just inside 50. It's tracking left at minor score.
Jackson, what was said at quarter time around the defenders and getting some aerial support and getting that ball to ground?
Yeah, that's a big one. Whether it's our backs or forwards, we've got to get the ball to ground. We've got to give our small a chance. But we as mids got to do a bit better at pressuring that ball so that they can. We're going better this quarter. We should have kept going.
Jackson, what's driven the decision to come to Victoria and the VFL be your next football home?
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity over here, and I've loved my time since coming to the Bombers, and I'm really excited about the year ahead. We've got a good young group, and yeah, I'm pumped to keep the year going. One would have been nice.
We appreciate your time, Jackson. We'll let you get back into the action.
Thanks to Jackson Haitley, that banana from Jaden Davey, the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, it was an absolute gimme. It was really good football, straight up the middle. They had all that space. They got the ball to ground, and you've got to kick those.
So it's back to a 3-goal game.
Schoenmaker again with a long launch. Campbell has his way with Hall. 2-on-2 down the line. Virtually trapped, so runs on a 45 and then kicks it with the outside of the right. Gray couldn't complete it. Hall-Kahan to a vacant goal. Needs the bounce. Collard's recovered. Young pops the handball for Lance. Paddles, and Will Brown makes good of it. Far from an oil painting from the Zebras as they got it inside forward 50, but again, they work it well to manufacture a goal, and for all of Essendon's good in the first half of this quarter, the margin is back at 4 majors.
There was a 2-goal turnaround. Up one end, we had Davey missing an absolute soda from the top of the square. The Max's tyre replay, and Sandy bring the ball straight up the other end due to some good, strong hands from Tom Campbell from the kick in. They get some overlap run and carry and some players out the back, and that's back out to 24 points.
Stings, doesn't it, for all their good work. It was 27 at quarter time. It's back to 24. Still half of this term to play, though, for the Bombers as they fight to get back into the game. Garcia has it in the middle of Beach Oval. High kick. Eckersley tracks it in the air, gets worked underneath it illegally. Free kick to Jared Eckersley, Queenslander. As we mentioned, Gold Coast VFL Premiership player last year. Like Jackson Haitley, come to Victoria for more opportunities. Xavier O'Neill, former West Coast Eagle. Captain in this young side in 2024 in his first year at the Bombers. Foley chips over the top. There's Haitley. Thomas, nice step, and again, beats a couple. Gets good purchase on the kick to the top of the square. Wiedemann got hands on it, couldn't bring it down. Great tackle, crashing in there was Jack Paris. Creates an opportunity. Can Scott take advantage? Sandringham get numbers to the football to try and shut it down. Essendon still fighting on. Paris again, gives a little handball. Snap at goal is good. Well worked team goal from the Bombers, and Thomas gets on the end of it.
Well, Tom Tomer, the 28-year-old, oldest man on the Essendon list this afternoon on the Max's Tile replay. He started it with that little step and drive inside the forward 50. That's how Blake Carosella would like. The forwards compete. The smalls, when it hits the ground, create that pressure, that turnover, and a classy finish from the 28-year-old.
So an answer back as it's Bryan and Heath in the ruck, and Bailey Scott, another of the new acquisitions for the Bombers, taken to the deck. Bryan and Heath knew what they were going to do. It was just about getting the timing. Paris. McKay with the outside of the boot. Wiedemann. Was there a hold? You bet.
An important kick, this.
Virtually from the same spot he had his first look in this quarter to give the Bombers the right start to the term. That was at the 7-minute mark. Here's the infringement.
And again, just winning that clearance, so important. It puts the defenders under pressure. Not a lot in it, but certainly a hold early on in the contact.
So Wiedemann for his second. That left post.
They've had some opportunities.
Street end is not being kind to the Bombers in this term.
Tomer hit the post early in the quarter. Wiedemann then, and the Davey missed, so they're right back in this contest, Essendon.
Ramirez has it in the back pocket. To the wing. Hayes, Heath at the front. Sartis couldn't bring it down. Campbell put his head over it. Low in there working. Campbell gets to his feet, pops it to Hayes. Handball behind Watson. Well done, Foley. Sartis. Bryan fashions a kick. Wiedemann again. Not quite. Couldn't complete the mark. Keeler back towards the wing. Campbell comes across, but mark taken by Will Hall.
That was a brilliant kick inside the 450 from Bryan. Just into the space of Wiedemann and couldn't quite hold on, but dangerous forward 50 entry.
So Hall scrubs the kick onto the chest of Tom Ramirez once again. We'll go back down the line. Awkward one for Lowe. Nicely picked off. It was well read by Solly McKay. Essendon can punish on the turnover. Scott off to Haitley. Pins back the ears from 50 and bounces it through for another. Jackson Haitley with his first goal for Essendon.
It was a nice finish, wasn't it? The Max's tyre replay. Missed target coming out of the back 50, and Haitley driving through the middle of the ground, backed himself in with his leg, and loving the change in effort and intensity here from Essendon in this second quarter.
Well, they've done it in the second quarter off being reliable rather than remarkable, the Bombers. Back-to-back goals for the first time today. We've got ourselves a contest on an Easter Sunday as Eckersley intercepts.
And that's one thing that has helped drive them back into the contest. They're taking some marks in their back half now.
Haitley involved again. Bouncing on the balls of his feet. Keeler taking no chances in that contest that time against Wiedemann.
It's okay, they've got no one to kick to.
Zagari. Collard. Hoare just attacked it when no one else wanted to. So the Bombers conceded 20 points from turnovers in the opening quarter. They're plus 15 in this term, and it might get better. Vicentini, it's knocked away to the advantage of Wiedemann. He's spun, he stays afloat. Garcia's nailed. Tomer put him into the turf.
Not sure that Tomer agreed with that.
Tomer handing out some punishment.
Some physicality all of a sudden about Essendon. It's the second really big shot we've seen. And if they're saying he got in his back, maybe just that tiny last little effort, but is much better intensity from the Bombers.
Oof, I think he got into his pancreas before he got into his back. That rattled a few internal organs.
Same entry point.
Seaton. Kick sprays wide. It's going to go too wide.
Pressure building here on Sandy. You can just feel the change in their mindset, making a few little errors by foot.
It's Hugo sucking in the big ones. As Vigo goes towards the square, looking for Luca Alessio. It's Sandringham under pressure in the second term. So things have flipped. Now from a Zebra's perspective, what do they need to do to gain some control back in the game?
Well, they need to start winning the clearances a little bit more here, because every time they're getting the football, they're under much more pressure. They're kicking it out of their defensive 50, and it's just coming straight back. So a little bit of composed possession, and that's going to help because there's a free kick here. So they should just spread.
Mitch Ryan taken down off the ball. Once again, they're going to kick it down the line to a pack. It's going to be Heath versus Hoare, and Will Hoare's marking everything
well,
right now.
the thing is, they're making it so predictable, Sandy. They're just going to the same spot
And from
every
this-
single time they're kicking out of their back half.
Because this is such a small ground, he's almost on the wing, but he can launch it to the square because it's such a small ground.
Kick.
Nice delivery, Wiedemann. Davey in the pocket. He's taken down by Zagari.
So another opportunity for Wiedemann, but he's presenting well, and they'll stick eventually. It's just a matter of time before one of the Davies gets involved here. Oh,
He's going to get involved right now. It's Jaden.
I thought it was going to be from around the stoppage, but he's been awarded a free kick. Didn't see what it was for, but he's got the X factor to kick this.
11-point game. After Sandringham were well and truly on top. Davey to bring it inside a kick. Just sits it up.
Oh, that's nice.
And slots it through.
They're back. Jaden Davey was the man awarded the free kick. Maybe it was for high, maybe it was for just a dump into the ground. But on the Maxis Tyre replay, his first goal in VFL footy last week was an absolute beauty. 3 bounces into an open goal, and that one, not as eye-catching, but just as classy. He kicks his first.
4 goals to 1 in the quarter for the Bombers.
And it could have been 5 or 6 goals.
Well, Jaden Davey kicking the hard one. He missed that golden opportunity with the check side.
Thomas hit the post, and they have certainly turned the pages.
Campbell to the skipper O'Neill, and the former Eagle will put the Bombers into attack. Can they go into halftime in front? Smart couldn't mark. Roberts scoops, wants to find his left, or better still, Davey, who comes inboard. Smart will fly free.
Great kick, super football. Again, winning the clearances. It wasn't pretty, it's not perfect football. Straight out of the middle, down the throat of a forward. You've got to work hard to bring the ball to ground and create contests. And that is exactly what we just saw. Brilliant work from Archie Roberts.
23rd man for the Bombers today, Oscar Smart, product of Leachfield Gunbower up in the north of the state. The Bendigo under-18s kicked one in the 3rd term last week.
Oh, they're in front.
Kicks one here late in the seconds. Essendon remarkably in front. Four goals in 9 minutes from the visitors. Almost in the vein that which Sandringham kicked 4 and 7.5 in time on in the first.
Really good football, unselfish play there from Davey. Just a little dink kick back into the dangerous space on the Maxis Tyre replay. And what a brilliant response. Blake Carosella asked plenty of his troops at quarter time to change the way they're going about it. Yes, there's a 2 or 3 goal breeze Essendon's way, but it's been their effort.
Sandy kicked the first 5 against Collingwood and then faded away. They've got to dig deep here. They trail by a point after leading by 27 at quarter time. That was the game high. High shot there. It's going to be an opportunity for Hipwell to drive them inside 50. Takes the short option. Paul Kahan. He winds up. Campbell at the back. Campbell Gray bounces a football. Awkward one, nicely controlled. Well played by Monty. Off to Foley, and Essendon growing in confidence. Visentini caught behind. It was beautifully read by Seaton.
Yeah, we had to mark it. If Visentini could bring that ball to ground, they were out. They had Davey streaming towards goal.
Didn't panic. Anthony Seaton kept his eyes on it and read it well. Low to McNabb. Copped a rib shot earlier in the quarter. Campbell again the target. Flying over the top was Campbell Gray. Handball at the back. Opportunity for O'Neill. Uses the support. Pressure here from Sandringham. Comes back to O'Neill. Pokes a kick towards the wing. Pitches inside the line and out. So we approach the 29-minute mark of the second term. 7 VFL's match of the day, live from Trevor Barker Oval on 7 AFL and streaming nationally on 7+. 7 VFL Sandful and Waffle matches of the day every weekend, live and on demand during the week to catch up on all the best state league footy around the country, all on 7+.
Sandy having led this game for 56 minutes. Bombers getting their noses in front in the last 3 as Llewell marks. Got Eckersley, the leading possession getter on the ground, trotting past. McKay. So do the Bombers go into control mode? Solomon's off running. It's a dangerous kick, but he was dealt with once he'd kicked the football. So Foley, the intended target, ends up with it. He can find a free. It's Roberts. He'll roll to his left. Keeps it low, puts it wide. Wiedemann, thank you very much.
No, he's been a great presence up forward this quarter. He's kicked one. He's got his hands to another couple that he should have taken. It's been a great response.
107 VFL goals across his time at either Casey or the Bombers at this level.
Hit the belly there.
That one heading for Lineker Road. Visentini, who's got 2, didn't grab it. The co-captain Seaton finds Watson. He caught one from Monty. Sam Wiedemann, a couple of practice swings in back play to figure out what happened there. Watson.
The Fulks have kicked poorly out of their back half in this quarter. It's just pressure is built.
Thomas plays on. And a let-off perhaps for the Zebras late. What a performance from the Bombers in that second quarter after being 27 points down at quarter.
Easter is his 2 front teeth. Thanks, Macca. Third quarter action, thanks to Crown. Bombers by a point. Campbell goes to ground. Garcia puts his head over the football. Sardis in there scrapping to try and extract it. Breeze is picked up here. Feels like to us it's blowing to the left of screen. I'll get a confirmation from Macca on the boundary shortly. It is what it's doing at ground level. Sandringham heading in that direction in this third term. Garcia gets good purchase on the kick. It'll get over the back for Collards. Got it. Perfect start for Sandringham. They're back in front. He's got his second.
Certainly was a perfect start. Less than a minute in, free kick in the middle of the ground, just drive it to a dangerous spot. Strong contest, and Collard reading the drop of the ball to perfection. Crown replay, free kick in the middle of the ground, no messing around with it, just drive it to a dangerous spot, and Collard, who kicked the first goal of the afternoon, chimes in with his second. Beautiful timing there, front and square.
Macca on the boundary.
The breeze has definitely picked up. It was probably 2 goals, now 3 to 4 to the left of scene. So big quarter for Sandy, kicking with the wind.
Zebras get the lead back. Their first major since Will Brown at the 15-minute mark of the second. Campbell got the handball to Lowe, is stripped, and away goes Paris. Had to work to get it back from the first and second bounce. Balanced up on the left. That's exquisite. Good luck catching Jack Paris. Not many players are on the turf of Trevor Barker Beach Oval this afternoon with a sub-11 second 100-metre time next to their name. And the Bombers are back in front.
So Jack Paris, personal best for the 100, 10.97. For the 200, 21.53. And for the 400, 47.99. He was in Olympic calculations leading into Tokyo.
That is lightning, and great defensive pressure from Elijah Sardis as well that turned that ball over in the middle of the ground. Wouldn't it be great to be able to pick the ball up under your arm and know no one can catch a nudge?
Oh, we've had more goals early in the second half than Nate Caddy's got front teeth. And Essendon are back in front. Ryan the tap. Good clearance from O'Neill. He finds Smart. Hands it off, but behind Davey. And that allows Sandringham to relieve the pressure off half-back. Houghton links up with Zagari. Back to Houghton. Long down the line. Good use of the body there by Jack Hayes. Did his work early on Lewis. Swings onto his left, gets it inside quickly. Couple of options there. Ground level Garcia pops it out. Lovely smother coming in, Campbell Gray.
He's done some really nice things since quarter time, Campbell Gray. That first quarter, he turned the ball over on a couple of occasions, but that's just great desperation. Dove across the boot, what could have been a goal-saving smother.
20-year-old from Keilor, Mick McGuane encouraged him to try testing himself at the next level at VFL. O'Neill, quick kick. Haitley. Wall one, Sardis. Advantage will be paid. Alessio to Sardis. And he goes short and finds Jaden Davey.
1-1 in an electric second quarter. It's up brother Alwyn. Too much on it for O'Neill. Scooping it up, hit well. Jack Hayes. Bit of agility shown from Tom Campbell. Spirals one wide.
Oh, lucky bounce.
McKay let it bounce. That opened it up for Will Brown to give it to Balmires. Cuts the kick for Hayes. It's wide and out.
I suppose the messaging if I'm Blake Caracella would be we're kicking against a 2 or 3, maybe more, 4-goal win now. You don't need to play fast football all the time. They had composed possession down that far wing. Davey tried to come back in board with a 50-50 dangerous kick that got turned over, and it put your defenders under fierce pressure. You can afford to play a little bit slowly when you need to, Essendon, in this quarter.
Campbell from the ruck. Couldn't keep hold of the footy. Did get hold of Tom Thomer.
Different story in the last quarter when you've got the wind, but he's got to adapt. It's as much about taking time off the clock as it is hitting the scoreboard for Essendon this quarter. 3
lead changes in the game through the last 3 majors for the respective teams as Garcia sees it out. So our investigative reporters in our truck have found the footage of the Caddy Wiedemann incident. Can we see any white in the screen?
Yeah, there it goes. Saw it drop.
Like looking for a star.
Great effort from the trainer to
Well,
find
not really, because you know exactly where it would have landed.
Okay.
Within a
really
little
poor
1
effort
metre run.
from the trainer.
Sorry, Inspector Clouseau.
You sort of half know where the tooth is going to be. Unless you're a cheeky player like a boot, you grab it and you throw it elsewhere like we saw.
Now we're getting an insight into your personality. Lowell, Alessio. You would have swallowed it just out of spite. Low. Yeah, you can have it. Wait about 6 hours. Collard. Inside 50. On the bounce. Heath gives it off. Opportunity for Sandringham. Dribbling football.
Well, they paid a free kick.
Logan Young taken down. We'll get another opportunity.
It was in the tackle attempt. And the 281s, you don't see that very often. This is the attempt, and it was just slightly lingered.
Logan was having some shots for goal pre-game from this exact spot. Mind you, the wind's picked up substantially since then.
Right-hand goalpost.
His dad, Colin, an AFL agent, originally from Wembley Downs Junior Footy Club in Claremont, came to Melbourne in 2021 to chase his AFL dream. Another to play with the Sandy under-18s. Lived with Brad Hill, the Saint, for a few months. keeps it low. It's ugly, but it's beautiful at the same time.
It was ugly, but went through, and that's all that matters.
It's not how, it's how many.
Exactly right. Logan Young, he liked it too. Campbell Gray, just that desperate attempt to put some pressure on the ball carrier on the Crown replay. It didn't come off the boot all that well, but he aimed for that right-hand goalpost, and it was always going to go slightly right to left. So
Lead change 4, 2-1. Umpires having some issues with the bounce. A few spots of softer turf, despite the fact that Melbourne has barely seen any rain through the month of March. It is coming. Hopefully it's late regarding Easter Monday football at the MCG tomorrow between the Cats and the Hawks. Big fist from McLennan. Lowe versus Roberts. Archie wins the day. O'Neill left it. No space whatsoever for Davey to get out. As we'll head down to the Sandringham bench in a moment and speak to Hugo Hawke-Khan as Watson kept it alive. Faye Marlowe through traffic, tossed it to Watson. Sandy out, open play now for Collard. Bullets the ball, Younger turned his back. The fist from Gray. There's a foot race between the 81s. Gray scoops it up, pops the handball wide. It won't quite find the line. Monty keeps it alive, and the Bombers are off and running.
To the wing, Keeler will stand underneath it. Big fly over the top from Wiedemann, who then crashes through. It's hit boundary side. Hugo Hawke-Khan's been good enough to give us the time. Hot contest in the third here, Hugo.
Yeah, it is. It's very hot. We just felt we played into their hands a bit in that second quarter. Just being really predictable going down the line a lot. We weren't shifting the ball, playing our way. So trying to get it back on our terms this quarter.
We appreciate it. We've kept you long enough. We'll let you get back into it, mate. We appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to Hugo Hawke-Khan. Roberts to the pocket. We'll let Hugo get back into the action. We appreciate all the players giving us their time in game. Hugo now is going to come back into the game as part of the rotation. His side lead by 5 points. It's delicately poised as Lance Collard comes off and Hugo back into the action. Bailey Scott. This next quarter and a half, Brownie, you just sort of feel like in the context of the overall seasons, these two young teams, an early win would just be enormous for their confidence. Peris snaps goalward. It was a fine effort, off hands, bouncing football towards the line. Smart and Schoenmaker.
That's one thing that Essendon will be trying to do is drive that ball a little bit deeper inside their forward 50. I think one of the reasons Essendon were able to get back in the contest is that Sandringham in that second quarter, they couldn't get it deep. And so the ball was always turning over between 30 and 55 metres out, which allowed the Essendon halfbacks to drive the ball back through the middle of the ground. So if you can lock the ball inside your forward 50 nice and deep, that's going to help against the wind.
Campbell, lovely tap down to Hipwell. He floats a kick. And as far as Foley couldn't complete the mark, well done docking. Quick kick from Watson back towards the middle of the ground. Good body use from Eckersley, couldn't complete the grab, and away go the Zebras. Hazel look up, got no one at all inside 50.
Great tackle.
He'll get run down. Matt Foley, free kick goes to Sandringham for being buried in the tackle. Zagari, he'll drive goalward. Got numbers at the back here, getting a hand to it was Low. It's dribbling goalwards, desperate scramble. There's going to be a free kick. It's going to be a Sandringham goal. Desperate effort from Will Hall. Here's another look.
This is that first free kick as well. It looked like it was going to be a really good tackle. Foley just ends up getting in the back. And then just when you think they've dodged a bullet, brilliant spoil there from Archie Roberts on the last line. Another infringement.
Logan Young will step around with the banana. And Sandringham got themselves a buffer once again.
Crown replay, a couple of very avoidable free kicks. A great defensive effort from Roberts, and just right here, that tackle just lingering. There's not a lot in it, but need to be aware when the ball has left the hands of your direct opponent. And Logan Young, the recipient of back-to-back free kicks, and he's made the most of both of them.
Two apiece to Young and Collard. The Zebras with back-to-back goals for the first time since they peeled off 4 in a 7.5-minute blitz in time on in the opening quarter. Ethan Vicentini the tap. Garcia, though. Ramirez was pushed as he kicked. Still advantaged. O'Leary runs a zigzag pattern back onto the left. Marlow, Foley had the hands up to ensure he was getting out of the protected zone. The former VFL Tiger, Hayes. It was Jack over the top. Lewis, a defensive presence for the Bombers. So 7 inside 50s to 2 for the term for the home side. And they're getting it done through link play. 20 handball receives to 8 through 13.5 minutes of the third, as they've wrestled back the advantage. Vicentini and Hayes. Hawker-Hahn, Watson dishes to Zagari, finds his left. High ball, Young versus Hoare, hand on it. Off the bounce by Will Hoare, and the margin back to a clean 2 goals.
Certainly more of a willingness to handball, get some run and carry in this third term for Sandy.
It's been a good response with the breeze. Essendon will have it at their back in the final term, so Sandringham be looking to open up a little bit of a lead here. Hayes took his eyes off it, but has a little bit of time before Faimalo arrives, and then he uses it neatly to Peris. Chips to Solly McKay. He keeps it low towards the boundary line. It's punched away from Smart. And Sandringham, again, holding the football in their front half of the ground, as they did for much of the opening term. They led by 27 points at the first change, and Essendon looked to be in all sorts of trouble. To the Bombers' credit, they kicked 5-6 to 1-2, 11 scoring shots to 3 in the second term to lead by a point at the half, before Sandringham had got back out to a 2-goal advantage in this third term. Watson. Houghton. Faimalo and Hayes both go to ground, and the ball bounces out. Coming up next Saturday afternoon, the VFL taking on the Sandful at Glenelg as part of Gather Round. Join us from 1 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 South Australian time. As the Big V take on the Crow Eaters. Looking forward to that one. Docking. Faimalo runs into Bailey Scott. Can't get through. Heath the tap. Garcia tried to spin through. Foley got boot to ball. It's high. Scott just got a boot to it. Peris couldn't do anything overly effective. Houghton got good purchase on that snap. Unfortunately for him, it's just a touch right.
1-1 for Ollie Houghton, both to the western end of the grounds. 12 touches, the story of his afternoon so far. Foley impeded as he kicked, but found Roberts, who with this will become the leading possession getter on the ground with 17. To Scott, to Smart, who was part of the second quarter avalanche for the Bombers. Kick wide, not to the advantage of Vicentini, and a virtual try scored over the line by Mitch Ryan, the former Giant.
It was really good ball movement coming out this side, bringing it back through the middle. Handball receives, just that kick needed to be given a little bit more time in the air for the biggest man on the ground.
Sandringham's defence on Peris and Davey Watch. Ryan will clear. In from the side hall, Llewell wins from Collard to Hayes. There's nothing, though, in Sandringham's half. If the Zebras can win it, they might be off. Collard threw it out. McKay. Scott intervenes. Wiedemann trying to muscle his way to the front. Almost did. Seaton, cool again. Pokes it wide. Low can step Monty. Go backwards. Schoenmaker on the left. Hately almost took it away. Hipwell, an important win. Hawker-Hahn, the Zebras with the launch pad. An overlap. O'Leary. In an acre of space, Zagari. Pass or shoot is the question. And Collard at full stretch takes it just.
Lining up for goal number 3. They had men absolutely everywhere here on the broadcast side.
From here, Brownie.
Yeah, interesting. Just pretty straightforward set shot if you just aim it to the right-hand goal post.
The ball from this spot in the second quarter. Collard
That's right.
makes magnificent contact. He's got a trio.
It was a nice finish. I still think the margin for error is higher. Kicks around the body than set shots, but he knew what he was doing. He's classy, isn't he? Lance Collard. There are options galore inside the forward 50. Kick was slightly higher than anticipated on the Crown replay, but composed. He's got his routine around the body and he hit it to perfection.
Key to that one's almost kicking it up before you kick it out.
Yeah, and then just allowing the wind to do what it does.
Danger time for the Bombers. They're down by 19 points now. Free kick for a hold to McNabb. And they've got to hang on here. Another 10 minutes or so in this third term. If they're going to come home with the breeze, they can't afford to concede too many more. O'Leary. Collard comes out, takes it cleanly, and Lowell takes him. Essendon need to dig in here. Hawker-Hahn hits the kick inside 50. Hayes receives the handball from Eckersley. Kick's going to get cut off. Well played, Docking. Squares it up. Hipwell for another. Can he bring it back on the breeze? Not quite.
Back-to-back kicks that were just not quite 15, so you could hear the umpire screaming, play on. Essendon dodge a bullet there.
That wind continues to pick up. Quite strong now to the left of screen. Essendon will have it in the last term. It's become a handicap race. Right now they trail by 20 points. Can they hold from here? It might be the last 10 minutes of this third term that ultimately decides the game. Foley pops it up. The wind holds it up. Visentini plucks it out of the air. Goes short to Sardis. Too short to be called a mark. Floats a handball. Eckersley off a step. Puts it into the bait. Goal here either way. Really changes the picture. Would make Essendon's margin for error in the final term much smaller. Or conversely, if they can pull one back themselves, puts themselves in a great spot. It's going to be down the field free kick. It is. McNabb was taken down by Smart, and that's going to be another opportunity for Sandringham.
Well, they've been their own worst enemies here in this third quarter, Essendon, and that's just didn't need to happen. They've conceded a couple of goals from free kicks, just sloppy.
Collard can go back and kick for his fourth, his third of the term. These are the moments for this young Essendon team. To make it 26 points. Collard's got 4.
So preventable. It's so frustrating as a player, especially a defender further down the ground, when you can see 50-metre penalties or down the field free kicks. It just gifts them goals. Crown replay clearly shows that was a late tackle, didn't need to happen, and the pressure continues to build on the Dons.
5-1 in the quarter. The Zebras with a couple of West Aussies in their forward line doing the damage. 3 to Collard, 2 to Young. More to come, perhaps. No. Harris chops it off. Sees a wide lead from Wiedemann. Didn't give him the best service, though. Smart can go after it. He might owe them one. He got it through the legs of Seaton. McLennan with pressure coming. Davey accosted him. Stripped him out of it. Zebras with good work in their defensive goal square. Ryan to Zagari. And the slingshot could be on again for Jake Batchelor's team. Heath marks. Doesn't have an initial receive option feeding off him. Zagari flashing forward to get involved. Campbell does the body work on Lewis Hayes. Jack Hayes versus Hall, bodied him under it. Gray flew. Hall was pushed out of it by Hayes. And Essendon hang on.
23.5 minutes gone, third term. 7 VFL's match of the day from Beach Oval in Sandringham. Hall goes short to O'Neill, who punches the kick. It's tidy to Sardis. He changes direction. Roberts has to wait. Marks on the back edge of the square. He'll come further wide to Foley. Look at the wing, grab that ball and rip it to left of screen. Essendon will have that in the final term, but they can't set themselves too big a deficit to chase down. It's currently 26. O'Neill. This one will drop pretty much vertical. Nicely read by Keeler.
Essendon forwards just had to be aware that that was going to happen. Take front position, work harder to get to the ball and bring it to ground.
Keeler into the middle, aggressive kick. Alessio looks to intercept. Garcia at ground level, got past one. Good effort there from Toma to come again. Can they force the turnover? Sliding in was Zagari on Alessio. Coming away with the football was Docking. He kicks towards half forward, bouncing football for Hayes. He attacked it for the Bombers. Lays a tackle, ball spills to the deck. Umpire.
An opinion.
Does exactly that. Sandringham ball.
Made no real attempt to.
Hugo Hall, Kahan will get it. Nice, Dave. Just to relax in the sun. Kick inside from Hugo goes to Mitch Ryan. Hayes offered a lead. He'll go longer. Roberts immediately tackled.
Time for Blake Carousella to think about a 7th and a spare defender, or is the issue at the source for the Bombers, Brownie?
Oh, it's at the source. They haven't been able to prevent the really slick ball movement from Sandy, but if they were going to drop a man back, it probably should have done it 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Docking, who's already got one. Ramirez spaces it, wants Watson. The intervening fist from Hayes. Zebras at the fall. McNabb tossed out of it. And Essendon get a vital stop at half back. Jaden Davey looking to retain possession. Collard awake to it. Keeps it alive. Scoops on. What a pick. Takes them on. Snaps. It's across the face and into the hands of Lewis Hayes. Essendon looking very nervy as they try and manage this game to the 3/4 time siren.
They try by 26. Feels like they might be maybe a goal behind par given the breeze.
Yeah, they're more than happy just to chip it around and try and soak up some of the time on the clock, but that's just a recipe for disaster if you turn the ball over.
Campbell Gray to Will Haw. Haw goes low into the breeze. Oh, that's a great grab by McLennan. Had to adjust his body mid-flight. Handball not quite so good. Keeler now under some pressure, has to retreat. Has support, it's Garcia. Heath comes steaming out. Big pack of players. Over the front came Eckersley, did well. Bombers have got some numbers here. Haw, Foley, Eckersley. Well done, Ollie Lowe. Keeps it in their front half.
He's worked hard, Ollie Lowe, this afternoon. Done some really good things like defensive chases and tackles and smothers, just like that.
Comes off for a spell as we hit the 27-minute mark.
Brian with a fingertip to it. Scott was through the contest. McKay, a pressured kick. Wiedemann. Monty over the top for the Bombers. Elijah Sardis and Roberts with 19 apiece. for the Bombers. Hipwell, the co-captain this season with Anthony Seaton, has that number for Sandringham. Campbell to Hipwell, his 20th, the hand pass for Garcia. Not his best effort, but it's in the right direction. Faimalo, Paul Kahan can steady. His kick smothered. Second layer through Zagari. Can punish the Bombers again. And the crowd may well need some chiropractic treatment on Tuesday because everything's been going left this afternoon. 6 goals to the Zebras in the opening quarter, 5 that way to the Bombers in the second, and now we've got 6 again for the Zebras in term 3.
Oh, sometimes the footy gods just are cruel. Eckersley on the Crown replay, brilliant. What we thought was a goal-saving smother, only for it to fall straight into the lap of Zagari, who made no mistake, and he's been solid this afternoon.
So margin out to 32, but bear in mind Sandringham led by 27 at quarter time and trailed at half time. A bounce will be recalled. Campbell and Bryant. Campbell try to get the tap down to Houghton. Scott. Ball comes back to Hipwell. Scott in there scrapping, tries to feed a little handball out. Chance for the Bombers here through Monty. Handball inside. O'Neill steps inside a man, delivers inside 50, and a critical kick here for Jack Paris. For the Bombers to pull one back late in the third. Thought about giving it off. Has got a kick into the breeze here from 35 out.
Yeah, more than capable of that. The only goal kicker for the Bombers here in this third quarter, and a really big moment. Smart football.
One AFL game for St Kilda last season. Spent 2 years on the rookie list. The Essendon VFL team in 2024. Paris, critical kick for Essendon into the breeze late in the third, and he's pushed it across the face as we head to Macca.
Sam Wiedemann gone into defence just to shore up that Bombers backline for this late in this third term.
So the margin at 31. Essendon led it by points at half-time. Seaton in front of Sandringham's players' race. Sign up for the Zebras indicating something, which is indecipherable to anyone not in the inner sanctum. Keeler's kick, a shocker. Free kick, Houghton against Haitley. Final thrust perhaps for the Bombers into the breeze. Oh! Magnificent! An Easter Sunday miracle!
He's smiling before his feet hit the ground.
The lift and then the lift for Isaac, who touches the clouds.
Still smiling.
As he should.
Might be vertigo.
Seaton wide. Gray completes the mark across the line. Let's drink in that replay. Haitley teed it up neatly. Knees on shoulders and posterization for Vigo Vicentini. That's a shot.
Great grab.
Campbell at the back. Paul Kahan. Hayes. Hipwell. Inside 50. Heath in good position. Good effort from Hall.
Yeah, he did really well, Hall.
Didn't give away the free kick in the process. Still got some numbers. Hipwell's run down from behind. Handball went back to Heath. Bomber defence get back. They are hanging on grimly as we approach 32 minutes.
Yeah, it was difficult. Will Hall running back with the flight. Needed to turn his body and effect a spoil without infringing. Did a terrific job.
The Dons hang on late. Backhander from Brian was good to Monty. It's going to come back. Zagari. There's another one of those
It's been so
free
sloppy.
kicks.
No, I don't think it's going to be downfield.
It's going to come back.
But it just, again, it's sloppy. It's in the back and not needed.
That one considered in the act of kicking. So it'll come back to Ryan as opposed to be down the field. Quick give off, high kick. This will go all the way to the goal square. Bombers have got numbers. There's Wiedemann, as Andrew McCormack mentioned. And at three-quarter time, it is Sandringham by 31 points. Bombers will have the breeze in the last term.
And then long into their forward line with the breeze.
Thanks to Macca as we get set for final quarter action. The Bombers trailing by 31 points, but with the breeze at their back. Both these teams looking for a win in 2024. This round 2 of the Smithies VFL. Two young teams, an early season win just so important for their confidence and their belief in the program. Campbell into the path of Houghton, tried to feed it to Hipwell. It's tidied up by Ryan, who does get it to Houghton. Sardis put some pressure on. It affected the handball. If Paris can get it, he can be away. Uses Sardis. Floats a handball. Davey had to wait. And that allowed Houghton to close down the space.
So, Brownie, the structure of the game has been contested ball, ground ball. You win that. That's driven your inside 50s and driven the scoreboard. Sandy in terms 1 and 3. Essendon in term 2. So the game's there. It's not in the breeze. That's where the game's going to live.
Yeah, and Essendon know the blueprint from that second quarter. They won the ball at the source. They only generated, well, they generated 19 inside 50s, but they kicked 5 goals, 6. So they were really efficient going forward of centre. They just need to replicate that effort.
Hawker was at the fall. Houghton can't spin out of the washing machine that McKay applied.
And that is how they can get their game going. Tackle
the
turnover.
advantage. Lowell, Monty, Sardis. Opportunity now, Roberts on the left with the check side when he had time perhaps to balance up and roll further into a drop punt.
They're the half chances that are generated by good tackle pressure in the middle of the ground, but when you're trying to overcome a 5-goal plus deficit, you must kick them, especially early in a quarter.
Yeah, if they can do their work early and get right back into it, that can put pressure on Sandringham. Schoenmaker off to Seaton. He goes towards Lowe. Conversely for Sandy, if they can pick up an early goal or two, they can close the game down. Lowe to half forward, some tall timber there. Over the top came Gray. The decisive punch. Young to Blamirez, and he goes inside to Campbell, and that early goal we were just talking about could well sit on the boot here of Tom Campbell.
Yeah, he's been workmanlike again, Tom Campbell. You always know what you're going to get from him, providing contests on the ground and in the air. He's already bobbed up and kicked a goal in that first term.
13-year veteran, 191 games of VFL, AFL combined. 56 AFL, 135 VFL. Can he go back and kick his second goal this afternoon? Would be a body blow. He's missed left.
Just psychologically, that would have been pretty painful for the Essendon players, knowing you're chasing a 5-goal deficit and you have the win, but if they could kick one into it to start the quarter, it would have been huge.
Like to see something a little bit more aggressive from the Bombers. Ball movement from the back half with this breeze to attack the corridor, and only a couple of metres between centre square and 50 arc shows just how short this ground is goal to goal. They're messing around with it in their back half. Foley to Hall. Lewis Hayes, half volley. Pressure applied from Brown. Hayes at depth to get it to McKay. Oh. Roberts left it for Foley. Young, who kicked 2 in the third. Hawker, Zakari finds Collard.
He won't be able to get the journey, but he can pretend he can and take the full 30. It's going to take.
Zakari runs into the space to Collard's right. Schoenmaker, the biggest kick on the ground for Sandringham, was also looking for a feed.
It's putting this to a dangerous spot.
What will Collard do? Is there perhaps an evasive option? Pivots right. Across the face. Campbell knocked it out to Garcia, who may have landed a decisive blow.
Yeah, smart play from Collard just to take some time. Don't kick it so deep that it gets spoiled through for a behind. He put it to a reasonably dangerous spot, and too good, Sandy. And the ball hit the ground.
So the Zebras with the first of the last and the last 6 goals of the game.
Just smart football. Chemist Warehouse replay, just putting it to the top of the square there. And Garcia, who was brilliant up to half-time, he's continued his work in the second half.
The Saints traded up to get him at pick 50. Did a deal with GWS. Got high hopes for Hugo Garcia. Goal-kicking, high half-forward midfield type. And working with Lenny Hayes on his midfield craft. He's given his team a 37-point lead. Campbell a tap. Past Hipwell. Socket off the ground by Zagari. Inside 50, past Logan Young. Gray versus Young. Gray wants the boundary and gets it. Campbell at the front. Brian got the tap down to Llewell. Through some hands. Eckersley involved. Hayes puts his head down, wins it. Flips a handball into the path of Scott. Just hacks it off the ground, but only as far as Schoenmaker. 16th touch for Ari. Almost a turnover. Just got over the top of Peris. Lowe loses his feet. Flips a handball back inside. Nicely done there by Houghton. Won it back. Got it to Lowe. Lowe to Watson. Belted towards the line. Lowe will keep it alive off the fist of O'Neill. Eventually it does get over and out. Sandringham holding the football in at the right end of the ground. They lead by 37 points. They've had 4 of the 5 inside 50s in this final term. And they've started the last quarter well.
That's all they need to do.
What they need to do.
Yeah, exactly. Just win the football at the source, drive it forward, lock it in your forward half, and time the enemy for Essendon.
Watson fossicking for it. Hayes. Llewell down to it. Pressured. Turns his Sandringham opponent in the tackle. A couple of pretty handy assistant coaching groups. Lenny Hayes, Saints champ. Also part of St Kilda's coaching staff. VFL legend in Damien Carroll, a premiership player and coach. Michael Hurley and Travis Cloak, part of Blake Caracella's support staff. So VFL providing not just players, but coaches with a great opportunity to continue to develop. You saw the head of Bailey Scott flick back in disgust as the free kick goes the way of the Zebras. And Jack Hayes, with the margin sitting at a comfortable 37 points, looking to add to the goal he kicked in the first quarter. He was part of that 4 goals in 7.5 minutes in the opening quarter. Hayes with his second. The Zebras win the race to the ton.
Just hope this man has a bit more continuity with his football, a bit more luck. Had a plethora of injuries, as we spoke about earlier in the day, and hasn't played a lot of footy.
Take a look at the Chemist Warehouse replay, Brownie, and the source of this free kick.
Yeah, I'm not too sure at all, but it was paid. He went back and he kicked it, and you just hope that he gets a good run with injury. We spoke earlier in the day about hasn't had much continuity. He can play. He's kicked 2 and can be crucial for the Saints this year if he can stay fit.
It's been the hand of the face. He's made the most of it. 43-point lead rather to Sandy. Heath Slightly off the side of his boot, but to a good spot. Away comes Foley. Streams through centre-half back. Flips a handball. O'Neill tries to sell a dummy, and he says, ah!
That is brilliant.
Back the other way. McNabb's got a couple forward of the football. Watson can go short. Well played, Max Heath, in the middle of the ground.
And players really coming to him as well, because that was brilliant. He just stood his ground. He didn't fall for the candy, getting offered up, and
managed to turn him in the tackle so he didn't give away a free kick. We've seen a few of those this afternoon that have been paid. He did that perfectly, and now Darby Hipwell, the co-captain this season, chance to kick his first of the year.
In his first game as a Zebra after making his debut as a Dolphin last season. And the margin to a half century. Sandringham all of a sudden looking at a percentage fill-up.
just again a brilliant spoil there from Mitch Ryan on the Chemist Warehouse replay. A desperate act brought the ball to ground, which creates that chain forward of centre, and Brown gets on the end of it. But we've seen Sandy in this last quarter. First it was the stand and deliver Max Heath tackle, and then that spoil. They're doing the little things that are creating opportunities.
Watson almost got onto the intercept there of the Sardis handball. Foley, Monty, Lowell, back to Foley, he claims the mark. Goes short to Sardis. 23rd touch for Elijah, leads the game for Essendon. Towards half forward, but Heath in best position once again.
Big man played with some real presence this afternoon.
McNabb. Lowell versus Faimalo. Some athleticism amongst that duo. Faimalo soccers it forward. Trying to keep it alive. There's O'Leary. Foley. They pile in on top of him. Umpire says, throw it in. Every game of the Sandful, VFL and Waffle, all our matches of the day on 7 every weekend on 7+, live and on demand. Back catalogue as well from seasons past. And next Saturday afternoon, the VFL and the Sandful from 1 p.m. Saturday Eastern from Glenelg Oval. Vic's taking on the Crow Eaters. Kick inside 50 from Blamirez is good, and Brown's got a chance to go back and kick his third.
It's disappointing last quarter here from Essendon. They would have gone into three-quarter time really feeling like with a 4 or 5 goal breeze to their back they could challenge the Zebras, and so far in this quarter 8 inside 50s to 2 Sandringham's way, and lining up for the 4th goal against the breeze.
Nice debut for the Zebras for Will Brown. Played 1 game for Frankston in round 21 last year. A chance to kick his third on debut for the Zebs this afternoon. Former captain of the Sandy under-18s. Just misses right.
A brilliant Coates Talent League Grand Final. Best on ground in that performance, which was the curtain raiser to last year's VFL decider at Icon Park. And many thinking he was a little bit unlucky not to find his way onto an AFL list in the draft last year. Scott Marks O'Leary tears after him. Alessio trying to make the ground on McLennan, who takes the intercept.
He stood resolutely this afternoon on plenty of occasions down back.
Good game in defence. Round one, Angus McLennan took a pre-season hanger, puts it straight into the breadbasket of Jackson Hately. Trots away. McLennan might get another look. Fist from Smart on this occasion. McNabb waited to release Blamirez along the ground. Pick up from Hawker Hahn was neat to Lowe to Garcia. Sandringham in complete control after Essendon roared into the game in the second quarter. It's been all the Zebras since. Lance Collard earns the free. He's right on the arc of 50 again, perhaps just beyond his range with the breeze. Maybe after the previous kick at right half forward a bit earlier on, he will take his chance for a fifth. So Sandy off a 28-point loss to Collingwood in round one. This would make the margin 57 and swing the percentage pendulum well back the other way. This from Vicentini on his former Dragons teammate Brown, and down to Andrew McCormack.
Well, there's getting your GPS numbers up, and then there's Jack Hayes, who's put his jumper inside out, so he's clearly done for the day. No injuries, just looking to get some more run in his legs, getting some sprints up and down the boundary. Here he goes again on the near side here.
That's all you need. Usually done after the game. Unusual to do it during the game.
That'd be my worst nightmare, that.
Hip well. Touched off the boot of O'Leary. Llewell. Sardis trying to clear the zone. Eventually, it's out.
As Matthew McConaughey said in his Oscar speech, you've got to have someone to chase. At the moment, he's just chasing the clock. You know? Famous Oscar speech. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Silence is golden, sometimes better than the line. Scott, high kick to the wing, here's Keeler. Oh, heavy collision there. Smart goes thundering into Schoenmaker. McLennan down the line. Hayes sets himself and picks it off.
His intercept work's been really good this afternoon. He's just got to get the balance right between the intercept stuff, the offensive stuff, and winning those crucial one-on-one battles in the air.
Guillemon Llewell has worked hard. Gets over the back to Davey, to Sardis. Out the back, Wiedemann in good position.
He's lost the headband. Kicked one from this exact spot in the second term.
It's a great second term from Essendon when they kicked 5 goals, 6. Probably could have put more on the board. They got to a point up at half-time, but since then, it's been all Sandringham. They've kicked 9 goals to 1 in the second half. Wiedemann for his second of the afternoon. It's good. Nice finish from Sam.
Much better ball movement. It's the first time they've really been able to transition the ball from their back half. It's been getting turned over in the middle of the ground and going back Sandy's way, but gave the forwards an opportunity to get out the back with a deep forward 50 entry and some space, and Wiedemann's tried hard all afternoon, competed. He's got 2, First goal for the last quarter.
First goal for the Bombers in 50 minutes of play. Alwyn Davey, couple of paddles. McNabb on the left, couldn't find Garcia. Kick towards basketball ring sort of height from Davey. Watson grabbed it, heads for Heath. He has the supreme recovery. Hall got after him, but was into his back.
Holding the ball.
Free kick goes the way of the Bombers, though, and they take what was not really an advantage. Eckersley turns it over. Brown's a Collard, providing distribution services for Hall Kahan, who does similar to Young, who's got himself 3 in the second half.
Well, Essendon took the advantage from the holding the ball and turned it over on the Chemist Warehouse replay. All the numbers with the Zebras 4 to the footy, and Young, couple of free kicks in the third quarter. He made the most of that. He's got 3 and had a nice afternoon like most of the Sandy forwards.
10 goals to 2 in the second half in favour of the Zebras. They trailed by a point at the major change. They now lead by 51. Haitley thumps it long. Beautifully read over the back by Toma. Chance to go back and kick his second of the afternoon. Originally from Kahuna, went to school in Echuca. Played senior footy at Kahuna from 13 to 14, then went to Golden Square in Bendigo for a few years. Wanted to have unfinished business at Golden Square, went back on a flag last year, and now testing himself at VFL level and kicks his second.
Two last week, he's bobbed up again and kicked a couple this week.
What a terrific story, an example for any player out there thinking about it. It can be never too late. 160 odd games in both the Bendigo and Central Murray leagues for Toma, and worrying signs for Nick Bryant in the centre circle, who's pulled up proppy from that ruck contest. Get Andrew McCormack to keep an eye on that as Garcia receives from Campbell. Monty's smother went back to Campbell, who heads to Heath, who wears one in the back of the head from Gray. Nick Bryant's got some motion and heading forward. Not at any great speed. Seaton retreats to McNabb, who's on his right, pivots to the opposite side. Bryant gets a chance to test things out. He was all right on that occasion. Missed the handball target of O'Neill. Scott wears one from Hipwell and is stripped, and not in a good way either. Low. Vicentini attaches himself to him. You see Bailey Scott slow to get up for heavy contact. It's been a ferocious contest on the inside today. Hipwell with the tackle. Zebras with an entry inside forward 50. Eckersley slips Brown. Gray was down low, had his kick impacted. Hustling after it. Faimalo away from Monty. Got a knuckle to it. Eckersley tackled by Young. And the Zebras lock it in search of an 18th.
Ryan the tap. Hipwell walked over the line by Solly McKay. Hipwell with 26 touches, Hawkahan 23, Garcia and Lowe 21 apiece. Next Saturday afternoon, live and free from 1 p.m. on 7 Mate, 7 Plus. The Sandful versus the VFL. The Big V taking on the Crow Eaters at Glenelg. can't wait for that one. O'Neill. McKay stripped. Scott, Llewell, Foley, good chase, Collard. Foley kept running. Gets past Keeler. Delivery good to Wiedemann. Nice play, Matt Foley.
Yeah, really good play.
In fact, it was Vicentini.
Backed his speed. Got the 1-2 out of the back half, and too little too late, unfortunately, but you've got to keep taking the game on, and that was classy.
19-year-old Matt Foley, second year from Strathmore and Calder Cannons. Member of Essendon's Next Generation Academy. His mum was from Singapore. One of this young Essendon talented group looking to grow together. This is this young man, Vigo Vicentini, chance to kick his third this afternoon. Always left. .44 points the margin. Ticked over 25 minutes in the final term. McNabb into the breeze. Heath at the front. Hoare with the fist. Nice pick up, Bryan. Good hands inside. Hayes. O'Neill confronted by 4. And that's now Roberts' problem. He was taken high. No free kick paid. Campbell. Kahan. Floats a handball. Ryan kept it moving. Scott goes tracking it. Runs into Houghton. Llewell. He feeds it back. Hoare. Scott. Haitley. And now Gray can sink his boot in it towards half forward. Off the hands of the contest. Coming through was Alessio. Back to Bailey Scott. Scrubs a kick towards the goal square. An awkward bounce here. Nicely done by Seaton. Off to Lowe. He'll go high towards the wing. Heath's got 3 to beat. In the end, Bryan gets it to the line.
The intensity's still sky high for Sandringham. You just saw that last passage of play. Up by 44 points late in the last quarter, but they're still attacking the contest with some real ferocity and venom. It's good signs for Jake Batchelor.
Post the state game by, the Zebras and the Saints both head to Canberra to face the Giants at Manuka. Essendon with a date with Footscray post gather round. It'll be after the Friday night AFL contest as Toma from inside the centre square.
Oh, he's had 2 posters this afternoon to go with his 2 goals. Gave that a great ride.
Adapting to the step up from the Bendigo League to the VFL in fine style. He was 4th in the Bendigo League's best and fairest voting count last year. Bombers turn it over. Wiedemann, Toma not looking at anybody. Created the spillage on McLennan. Advantage to Haitley, but he fluffed his lines from close range. So margin at 53. If you're just joining us, Nate Caddy losing a tooth in the opening quarter. That ended his day statless. And they've missed his aerial presence inside forward 50. Fist from Campbell. Nipwell can usher it to the line with a game-high 26 possessions, 16 of them contested, to go with 7 tackles under the belt. Hawks Cats tomorrow. It's been the Easter Monday placeholder for several years now. Hopefully the forecast rain in Melbourne can be as late as possible, so we get good conditions at the G tomorrow. As Scott took it from the contest, Vicentini seeking a 3rd. Couldn't complete the mark. Smart, surrounded by Zebras. All the Zebras in the second half. 10 goals to 3 since half-time as Bryan, trying to create something, draws a free.
He's competed manfully this afternoon against Tom Campbell. He's a much bigger frame and body. He's used his athleticism quite well.
His next match at either level will be his 50th for the Bombers, 14 at AFL level. Just sneak it in.
So the fourth major for the Bombers in this second half.
See the ruck infringement here on the Chemist Warehouse replay. Just that right arm of Tom Campbell going over the shoulder. He fought for front position and was rewarded.
So 3 goals to the Bombers in the final term, but 4 to Essendon.
Made the goal umpire work from 10 metres out directly in front.
Monty to Haitley, who's immediately taken down. Well done, Campbell. Handball was intended for a Bomber teammate, but Campbell cut it off. This is Docking. Around his body to Watson. Garcia pulls the kick and finds Hawker Hahn.
This
Great
is a
vision.
beautiful kick. Yeah, Garcia, he's such a classy footballer with ball in hand. Uses it well, and on that occasion, that's just exquisite ball movement, ball use.
So Hugo Hawker Hahn, junior club East Sandringham, another to come through the Haileybury Sandy under-18s pathway. Signed by the Swans in the mid-season draft in 2022. Didn't get a senior game there. Has come back to Sandringham to continue his career. 40 metres out. Drifts across the face, minor score.
Been one of their better players this afternoon for the Zebras. 25 disposals, a couple of behinds.
Roberts. Keeler again takes to the skies. On Ramirez. Back to Keeler. Back on terra firma. Finds Young. Spreads it wide. Seaton left it below. He dropped it in the shadows. Goes to O'Leary, who's got some sort of tank. The former Sandringham Dragon ran 5:48 for the 2K time trial at the draft combine last year, and they had the Bombers measure on Easter Sunday last year by 37. They extend that margin 12 months on. A 38-point victory for the Zebras, who square their season under Jake Batchelor at 1-1. And it was an excellent second half. They dominated 3 of the 4 quarters, 27 points at quarter time. The Bombers, their best term of the day, 5-6 to 1-2 in the second. They led by a point at half time. Sandy was 6-3 to 1-1 in the third to open things up to a 31-point buffer at 3-quarter time. And they controlled things down the stretch. 4 goals to 3 in total in the final quarter, but those 3 goals, Garcia, Hayes and Brown, in a 7-minute stretch between the 4 and 11-minute marks of the final quarter, gave them a handy buffer. In the end, it was something they managed down the stretch to win by 38 points.